new session at Graduate Guru. We will be continuing with our topic, final accounts of insurance companies. Now, in the last session, we had started with the format of balance sheet and we had done up till schedule number 10, that is for fixed assets. So, today we will continue with the further schedules, which is after schedule 11. So, let us start with schedule 11, which is for cash and bank balances. So, this is one of the important current assets which any company has. So, even for insurance company, this is an asset and we have to show it as per the breakup which is given in our format. So, first is cash balance and this will include your checks, drafts, etc. So, जो checks या drafts हमने अभी तक deposit नहीं किए हैं in the bank, if they are in our hand, तो वो हम cash balance में ही बताएंगे. Then we will have bank balance, and in bank balance also you have to give a breakup. So, in our bank balance, first we have deposit accounts and then we have current accounts and other accounts. So, within our deposit accounts, again we have to show a breakup of short term and others. Short term means less than 12 months. So, जो बैंक के साथ हमने deposits रखी हैं, that is our fixed deposit, term deposits, but for a short term period that is less than 12 months, that and others, they have to be shown separately. Then we have current accounts. Current accounts are our normal business accounts. जो भी business companies, banks के साथ जो account maintain करते हैं, that is called a current account. For normal people, it is savings account. Businesses के लिए it is current account. And if there is anything else, any other type of bank balance that you are maintaining, that will be shown separately. इसके बाद, after cash balance and bank balance, you also have to show your money at call and short notice separately. So, we have money at call and short notice. Again, this money at call and short notice you can have with banks or you can have with other financial institutions also. So, उसका breakup दिखाना है with banks and with others. So, what is money at call and short notice? Means we keep some amount with either bank या किसी भी institution के साथ which we can call, that is we can withdraw, हम उसे मांग सकते हैं at any time whenever we need it. So, if there is an immediate requirement of funds, हम immediately ये amount मांग सकते हैं, which might not be possible if you are having accounts in the deposits. So, that is the difference. So, यहाँ पे money at call and short notice is a very liquid asset जो हम immediately cash में convert कर सकते हैं. And if there is anything else other than that which is in the nature of cash and bank balance, so that also we will show under this schedule. So that will give us our total. Now here the balances with scheduled banks and non-scheduled banks, ये हमें अलग दिखाना है. So over here if I am having a deposit account or a current account or any other type of account with a scheduled bank, तो उसका list अलग बनेगा and non-scheduled bank का list अलग बनेगा. Then we go to our schedule number 12. So schedule 12, as we can see over here, is in respect of advances and other assets. So these are short term advances क्योंकि ये हमारे current assets के list में है. So advances and other assets. So as the name suggests, हम इसे दो parts में divide कर देंगे. We will show advances separately and then other assets separately. So our first part, part A, is advances. And within advances, these are assets. So ये हमने किसी को advance दिया हुआ है. So like our deposits, etc., all that will come over here. So here we have reserve deposits with seeding companies. ये seeding word हमने पहले भी देखा था. That is when we transfer a part of our insurance business to some other company. हम उनके साथ हमारा business share कर लेते हैं. We transfer our part of the risk to some other company. That is called seeding. So जब हम किसी seeding company जिसके साथ हम business share कर रहे हैं उसके साथ कोई deposit रखते हैं. So these are recoverable deposits. So these will come under current assets. Then if we have paid any application money on investments, so we have applied for some investments but अब तक वो investment allot नहीं हुए हैं. So suppose you apply for shares but you've not yet received those shares. So that application money is like an advance given to that company. Then we have any kind of prepaid amounts. These are your prepaid expenses. कोई expenses हमने advance में pay किए हैं, which we know is our current asset, which we've done earlier in other topics also. Then, if you have given any advance to some directors or to some employees, that has to be shown separately. Directors or officers, I would say. So those type of advances when you give to your employees, the high level employees, directors, officers, etc., तो उनका advance अलग दिखाएंगे. Then we have our advance tax paid. This includes our TDS. TDS is tax deducted at source. But यहाँ पर this is only net of provision. So जो हमने टैक्स का प्रोविजन क्रिएट किया है, सपोज दैट इज से 20,000. आई एम जस्ट गिविंग यू अ वेरी स्मॉल एग्जांपल. प्रोविजन इज 20,000, पर हमने जो टैक्स भर दिया है इन एडवांस या हमारी इनकम से जो टैक्स डिडक्ट हो गया है TDS, दैट इज मोर देन 20,000. से इट इज 25,000. सो जो एक्स्ट्रा हमने एडवांस टैक्स पे किया है, ओनली दैट विल कम ओवर हियर. So you always set off your provision for tax against the advance tax. अगर provision ज़्यादा है तो it will come on the liability side. If the advance tax is more, it will come on the asset side. So this is our basic adjustment which we've done in other company accounts also. But I'm just drawing your attention to that. So that advance comes over here. And like in all other schedules, we finally have others. So if there is anything else which is not covered in this whole list, but it is an advance, so that you will specify and mention it last. Then we have other assets. So in other assets, we have income which is due on investments, or we have outstanding premium, जो हमें collect करना है basically. So premium receivable. So I'm just writing it together. Premiums or interest on investment which is due. When I say due, यहाँ पर हम receivable की बात कर रहे हैं because it's the asset. Then we have some balances of agents. अगर हमें agents से कुछ recover करना है तो that will come over here. So these are some other assets. Then we also have some maybe foreign balances that are due to us and others. So that list could go on. So anything else which is a short-term asset which is not a part of the advance, that will come under other assets. So with this schedule, our asset side, that is basically all the assets are covered. But we still have our liabilities, provisions and our miscellaneous expenditure to tackle. So first take these schedules down, then we'll continue. So now let's go to our schedule number 13, which is for current liabilities. Current liabilities are our short-term liabilities. So यहाँ पर generally it will be the opposite of whatever we wrote in our current assets. जो हमने अभी other assets लिखे थे. So it will be almost the opposite of that. So we will have again agents balances over here. So in asset अगर agent को हमें कुछ देना है, then it will come in the asset. If we have to give something to the agent, तो वो यहाँ पर आ जाएगा. Then, if you have received premiums in advance, sometimes people pay us premiums before the due date, so that premiums received in advance will come over here. Then we will have, if any balance is payable to other insurance companies, so balances due to other insurance companies. So these could be companies जहाँ पर हमने reinsurance किया है. So either we have given them reinsurance या हमने उनसे reinsurance लिया है. Reinsurance ceded or accepted, which we'll be doing in a little while. Then we will have any unallocated premiums. So we have received the premiums, but we have still not allocated it. उसको match नहीं किया है with a particular policy. We are not sure ये किस policy के लिए हमें premium मिला है, किस period के लिए हमें premium मिला है. So such unallocated premiums is also our liability. Then we will have our creditors. We will also have our outstanding expenses. And such other normal current liabilities. So our list could have like जैसे हमने अगर advance दिया है किसी directors officers को, how we show that separately in asset. वैसे ही if we have to pay them something back, उनसे कुछ due है हमारा, तो that will come separately. So this list will obviously be all your short term liabilities. जैसे हम किसी भी normal balance sheet में current liabilities का जो list बनाते हैं, so some similar items will come over here. So this will be our total. As I said this, I've just given you an illustrative list कि ये items आ सकते हैं, इसमें ज़्यादा या कम हो सकता है. Then we'll go to our schedule 14, which is for provisions. And in provisions, the most important provision for an insurance company is the unexpired risk reserve. This we had seen when we did the revenue account format also. हमने देखा था कि हम premiums के सामने इस amount को adjust करते हैं, which is unexpired risk reserve. I had explained to you that जो हमें premiums मिलते हैं, a part of the premium belongs to the next year. So उसके लिए हम एक reserve create करते हैं, but you actually don't make a list कि इतना premium है, इसमें इतना next year का है. That is not practically possible क्योंकि insurance company को हर दिन लाखों में premiums मिलते हैं. So to bifurcate it like that is not possible. So एक fixed percentage है We are going to study all about that in the next topic itself. Unexpired risk reserve के लिए हम एक पूरा explanation I'll be giving it to you in detail in some time. But that comes under provision. So one effect is in the revenue account and second effect हम देंगे in the provisions. Then we have provision for tax. But just like I explained to you in advance tax, ये हमेशा net amount होगा. So we will write it as net of advance tax. So जैसे मैंने आपको example दिया that we made a provision of 20,000 पर हमने advance tax pay किया 25. तो जो extra 5 है that comes under asset. एंड अगर प्रोविजन ज्यादा है, सपोज लेट्स रिवर्स द सिचुएशन, प्रोविजन हमने क्रिएट किया है 25,000 पर हमने एडवांस टैक्स पे किया है ओनली 20,000. सो यहाँ पर इफ प्रोविजन इज मोर दैट विल कम अंडर दिस हेडिंग, दैट इज अंडर प्रोविजंस. देन वी ऑल्सो हैव प्रोविजन फॉर डिविडेंड. So if the insurance company is paying some dividend to its shareholders जो उन्होंने propose किया है, so that will come over here. Then the including tax, this is, you can include the tax payable on dividend with this. And then we have any other provisions. So you have to specify what you are making a provision for. So that will be the total of our provisions. And then we have a schedule for miscellaneous expenditure. So this is the expense which is not actually in the nature of expense. ये long term expenses होते हैं. I am sure you know what miscellaneous expenditure is. So जैसे हम shares issue करते हैं, उस पर जो हम expense pay करते हैं, that expense you cannot show in the profit and loss account as your normal expense. So हम उसे over a period of time, over some years write off करते हैं. So जब तक वो हमारे balance में दिख रहा है, that is you've not written it off fully, it will appear over here. So like discount on shares or debentures. Then you could have your securities issue expense and so on. So you could have anything else which are in the nature of expenses in relation to securities or some long-term expenses. So this completes all our schedules in the balance sheet. After the balance sheet, यहाँ पर जब हम balance sheet complete करते हैं, उसके immediately बाद we show a list of contingent liabilities. What are contingent liabilities? जो liabilities हमें amount और period उसका sure नहीं है. We don't know अगर हमें उसे pay करना है और pay करना है तो कितना pay करना है. So they are unsure liabilities. So उस liabilities का भी हम एक list बताते हैं. First take this down, then I'll tell you what is included in those contingent liabilities. So as I said, just after our balance sheet, we make a list of contingent liabilities. So what is there in the contingent liabilities of an insurance company? पहले partly paid up investment, जो हमने investment buy किए हैं, but पूरा amount paid नहीं हुआ है. That company जिसके investments हैं, they have not asked for that full money. So that we will put in contingent liability, जितना unpaid amount है वो. Then claims not including policies not acknowledged as debts. So कोई भी और claim, suppose somebody has filed a suit on us, claimed some amount, not in respect of insurance policy. Okay, so that will come under our contingent liabilities, which is not, we don't want to pay it, but that person is asking for that money. Underwriting commitments, जो हमारे underwriters होते हैं, जो हमारे securities को guarantee करते हैं. So अगर उनका कोई commission या something is due but the amount is not sure, then that will come here. Any guarantees that we have given, या somebody has given on our behalf and we might have to pay the amount. Statutory demands like tax etc. जो dispute में है, there is a controversy के कितना amount pay करना है, we have filed a case or the authority has filed a case on us. And reinsurance obligations not accounted for. Again, what is this reinsurance obligations? जो हमने किसी कंपनी के साथ हमारा इंश्योरेंस लायबिलिटी शेयर किया है, and if we have to pay something to them but the amount and the time for payment is not sure, you will put it over here. Anything else which is in the nature of contingent liabilities will also appear in this list. This you will only show if your sum has some contingent liabilities, otherwise you can skip this. This is not really required, but you could use this for your short note etc. They could ask you contingent liabilities ka list for which you can use this. So take this down. With this the formats are over. Now I'll be explaining to you what is unexpired risk reserve. So first take this down. Now let us understand what is this unexpired risk reserve और हम इसे account कैसे करते हैं in our balance sheet and our revenue account. So पहले where do we show it? One is schedule 14 to the balance sheet. अभी हमने देखा था in the schedule 14 for provisions. There we have unexpired risk reserve and we show it as an adjustment in schedule 1 जो कि हमारा प्रीमियम का शेड्यूल है. Now what amount has to be adjusted, that is very very important. हम जितना unexpired risk reserve calculate करेंगे वो पूरा यहाँ पर प्रीमियम में नहीं आएगा. So that is the tricky part. You may make a mistake over there. पहले let us simply understand what is this unexpired risk reserve. As I said कि insurance companies को premiums मिलते हैं for the policies. Now it is not necessary कि if I am closing my books of accounts on 31st March तो सारी policies भी 31st March को ही lapse हो जाएगी. ऐसा तो नहीं होता है, because we may take the policy in the middle of the year. So insurance company keeps on getting premiums और वो premiums are for a longer period of time. Sometimes certain policies ऐसी होती है जहां पर हम one time premium pay करते हैं. So that premium is for 5 or 10 years at a stretch. Now how to divide that premium amount into that much long period of time? So that is why instead of actually sitting and making a list कि ये policy 1 है, ये इतने डेट पर mature होगी, so इसका premium इतना इस साल में है, इतना next year में है. Again policy 2 के लिए same, and ऐसे तो insurance company के पास there will be thousands or lakhs of policies. So ऐसा list बनाना is not possible. That is why our Insurance Act has given us fixed rates. कि अगर आप ऐसा insurance का business कर रहे हो, that is fire, तो आपको इतना reserve create करना है. इतना ये insurance कर रहे हो suppose marine, तो आपको इतना reserve create करना है. The rates are not that difficult to remember, दो ही main rates हैं. So for fire insurance, it is 50% of net premiums. Now this net premiums means जो premiums हमने adjust किए थे for reinsurance. If you remember your premium schedule, there we start with premiums on direct business, then you adjust for reinsurance accepted and reinsurance ceded. I'll be explaining that also in detail. So यहाँ पर जो भी हमें वो adjustment करने के बाद जो net premium मिलते हैं, which is the actual premium income for that particular year, उसका 50% should be your closing reserve of unexpired risks. So ये जो हम calculate कर रहे हैं, this is for the premium for the current year. So that means ये जो 50% हम calculate करेंगे, that should come as your closing amount of reserve, जो हम दिखाएंगे schedule 14 में. पर that same amount you will not show over here as an adjustment in your schedule 1. So यहाँ पर क्या amount दिखाना है? I'll come to that in a little while. Again for marine, but cargo, it is 50% of net premiums. So जो marine insurance cargo का है, I had explained to you there are 3 types of marine insurance: hull, cargo and freight. Hull is for the actual ship or the vessel or the vehicle. Cargo is for the goods which are there on that ship or vehicle. So cargo के लिए again it is 50%. Even for miscellaneous insurance, it is 50% only. So basically सारे insurances के लिए हमारा basic rate है 50%. Only in case of marine hull insurance, that is जो vehicle का insurance है वो, for that it is 100% of net premiums. So this is the adjustment that is needed. That is, this is the reserve that you have to create. अब अगर हमारे sum में fire है या miscellaneous है तो we know it is 50%. अगर marine दिया है तो always assume that it is marine hull, और marine के लिए हमेशा we will use 100%. Mostly the sum will specify कि हमें इतना reserve create करना है. But if the sum is silent, reserve तो हमें फिर भी create करना ही होगा, even if the sum is not telling you to create it. But percentage you will use is, for fire or miscellaneous you will use 50%, and for marine अगर sum में specify नहीं किया है, खाली marine बोल के रख दिया है, then we will take it as 100. इसके अलावा you also create an additional reserve. So this is over and above the normal reserve which we are creating. ये हो गया 50% या 100% हमें जो भी create करना है. But some insurance companies on the safe side एक additional reserve भी create करते हैं. This rate completely depends on the insurance company. So हमें sum में generally दिया होगा 5%, 7.5%, 10%. But ये हम assume नहीं कर सकते. If the sum tells you कि additional reserve इतने rate का करना है, only then create the additional reserve, otherwise don't. Okay? So this is about how you create the reserve. So पहले we will always calculate our net premium, जो हमारे schedule 1 में calculate होगा. So we will calculate it, that is this percentage will calculate it on net premium, और वो हो जाएगा हमारा closing reserve. फिर ये adjustment क्या करना है, that I am coming to in a little while. पहले take this down. So now let us see how we are going to account for this reserve. So जैसे मैंने बताया जो 50%, 100% है, we will calculate it on the net premium. वो हो जाता है हमारा closing reserve. That is if we are preparing the accounts on 31st March 2020. तो 2020 एंडिंग पर दिस इज द अमाउंट ऑफ अनएक्सपायर्ड रिस्क रिजर्व जो हमारे बैलेंस शीट में दिखना चाहिए, दैट इज इन शेड्यूल नंबर 14. सो द एंट्री फॉर दैट इज डिपेंडिंग ऑन विच इंश्योरेंस यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट, सो फायर, मरीन और मिसलेनियस इंश्योरेंस revenue account debit to unexpired risk reserve account. So this is our basic entry. So हम revenue account से, premium हमारा income है, premium is credited to our revenue account. So अगर हम reserve create कर रहे हैं, means it is something which belongs to future years. So हमें इस साल के income से उसे निकाल देना है. That is why we debit the revenue account, और reserve वैसे भी is a credit balance क्योंकि it's a liability, it's a provision. So that is why हम इसे credit कर रहे हैं. But this will only happen when the closing reserve is greater than the opening reserve. So हमने जो closing reserve calculate किया है on our net premium, वो अगर हमारे last year के reserve से ज्यादा है, so they will give you a number in the sum that this is the opening reserve, या शायद opening reserve भी हमें ही calculate करना पड़े. In whatever situation, you will compare the two, कि आपका closing reserve कितना है जो आपने 50% या 100% calculate किया on the premiums for this year, वो कितना है, that is closing. Opening last year कितना था, that is opening. अगर closing opening से ज्यादा है, then you will pass this entry. This entry will be, amount will be closing minus opening. So हमें सिर्फ difference के साथ entry pass करनी है, not the full amount that you calculated. Okay? Same way, if the situation is opposite, अगर opening reserve ज़्यादा है, closing कम है, then what? Then you reverse this entry. So it will be unexpired risk reserve account debit to whichever insurance you are talking about, fire, marine, या miscellaneous insurance revenue account. So यहाँ पर it will be opening is greater than closing and the amount will be opening minus closing. हर बार you are going to pass the entry only with the difference, not with the actual closing amount that you calculate. Closing amount जो calculate होगा, that will only go to the schedule 14 provisions. पर जो ये entry हम pass करेंगे, this adjustment we will show in the revenue account. और अगर हम fire, marine, miscellaneous तीनों का business कर रहे हैं, then for each insurance you will do this calculation separate. So suppose fire के लिए closing opening से ज्यादा है, तो fire insurance के लिए हम ये entry pass करेंगे. Suppose marine में opening is more than closing, तो हम marine के लिए ये entry pass करेंगे. So how will you post these entries to your unexpired risk reserve account? So पहले तो it's a liability, so इसका opening balance will be on the credit side. So we will have buy balance brought down और closing balance होगा on the debit side. So we will have two balance carried down. और जो difference है, so generally हम ये account भी बना सकते हैं and then directly find the difference. So अगर debit side ज़्यादा है and you get a difference on the credit side, you will say buy revenue account, which will be your balancing figure. अगर credit side ज़्यादा है, तो you will get the difference on the debit side. You will say to revenue account. And this account also you will prepare in the columnar form. So जैसे fire, marine, miscellaneous तीनों के अलग आप columns बता दोगे. In some accounts maybe the balance उधर आ सकता है, some accounts में इधर भी आ सकता है. So that depends on your sum. So I hope you've understood this. So take down these journal entries and the ledger account format. And I wind up this session over here. In the next session, we'll be doing a sum based on this calculation of unexpired risk reserve. So thank you.